Well, there's a wonderful section in Bird where the music, very well-known music of Swan Lake, where you have the prima ballerina on points, dancing daintily to this very sweet violin music. And Javier takes that section and uses it as his major seduction section, and starts kissing Jamie literally all over in rhythm to this wonderful sweet music. So we're confronted with the image we remember of the ballerina tottering around in point shoes, looking very delicate, and Javier looking equally delicate, but involved in the process of lovemaking with these rhythmical kisses.
I guess that I wanted to do all the stuff that probably choreographers in the turn of the century wanted to do and they were never allowed to do. I just didn't want to suddenly devise new movements that would signify kissing when actually I could just simply go and kiss. Is almost the essence of the first half of the work, the wanting to touch. And for me, that touch had to be suddenly converted into a new language. So I wanted to actually do a section of kisses, a choreography of kisses, where kisses had the same validity than a leg. Of the movement of a leg, or a plie, or any quote-unquote part of the known vocabulary of dance.
Javier is a rebellious, mutinous kind of guy. He does want to show you what he feels that you are essentially censoring in your mind. Oddly enough, he went further with Grass, and he went further in the emotional impact with his previous pieces than he did here, because this, by being kind of light and amusing in a sense, was trying to take away the sting, trying to take away the importance of what we were seeing. So therefore, it actually just looked a bit gratuitous. And I think that he's got to sort out for himself. His anger is his primary motivation. It's one of the things that makes his work very, very good. It's one of the things that makes his musical response so interesting, because it's so violent. And I think that when he's trying to please, and in a sense Hypochondriac Bird was a bit on those lines, it's funny how material that doesn't look as if it's there because it had to be, because it burst out of you. It's funny how at that point it begins to look slightly superficial.
I feel that in spite of different visions of how I do my work, that I'm actually quite of a purist in terms of movement. I mean, if I see things objectively, is music is an empty space. It's like the quintessential down to basics of the only thing that I have is the movement to deal with. And especially when I'm dealing with movement that is very, very connected with some level of coordination and rhythm that only dancers can achieve, that only choreographers can achieve. It is not physical theater, but then I wouldn't mind if it was. I just simply doing what I feel that I have to do. My perception comes from a life, half of my life now dedicated to dance.
The South Bank Show, in association with Anderson Consulting.